Hello, and welcome back to Science for Sleep. Tonight, we're going to step gently into one of the most overlooked and quietly powerful systems on Earth. We're exploring mushrooms, not as food or folklore, but as living organisms that operate mostly out of sight, shaping ecosystems, supporting life, and moving through the world in ways that are slow, subtle, and deeply biological. Mushrooms are often mistaken for plants, but what if I told you they belong to an entirely different kingdom of life? They do not rely on sunlight to grow, and they do not produce their own energy through photosynthesis. Instead, they exist by breaking down organic material, recycling nutrients, and quietly connecting living systems beneath the surface. Most of what makes a mushroom is never seen at all. When many people hear the word mushrooms, their thoughts often jump to one specific category, those studied for their effects on perception and the brain. While certain fungi have been researched for how their compounds interact with neural systems, that is only a small part of a much larger biological story. Tonight, we're not exploring mushrooms through the lens of experience or use, but through the quiet science of how these organisms grow, connect, and support life beneath the surface. In this video, we'll gently explore the biology of mushrooms, how they grow, how they interact with other living systems, and why their quiet presence matters so deeply. This is a calm science exploration designed to unfold slowly, allowing the facts to drift without urgency or effort. If you enjoy these long, quiet journeys through science, consider subscribing to Science for Sleep. And if you'd like, feel free to leave a comment sharing where you're listening from tonight. It helps others find their way to this calm space, and it helps keep these videos going. The visible mushroom, the part that appears above ground, is only a small reproductive structure. The majority of the organism exists underground as a vast network of fine threads called mycelium. These threads spread through soil, wood, and organic matter, forming living networks that can extend for miles. This hidden growth happens slowly, steadily, and without any obvious sign, shaping the environment long before a mushroom ever appears. From a biological perspective, mushrooms are specialists in decomposition. They break down complex materials that many other organisms cannot process. Wood, leaf litter, and other organic remains are slowly transformed through fungal activity, returning nutrients to the soil. This process does not happen quickly. It unfolds over time, guided by enzymes and chemical interactions rather than movement or sound. Mushrooms also play a quiet role in communication between plants. Through their underground networks, fungi form relationships with roots, exchanging nutrients and chemical signals. Plants provide sugars produced through photosynthesis, while fungi deliver minerals and water gathered from the soil. This exchange happens silently, continuously, and without awareness, supporting entire ecosystems beneath the forest floor. The human mind is often drawn to what moves quickly or announces itself clearly. Mushrooms do neither. Their growth is patient. Their influence is indirect. Their presence is often only noticed once conditions are just right. This makes them especially suited to quiet observation. There is no urgency in how mushrooms exist. They operate on biological time rather than human time. For now, there's nothing you need to focus on. Mushrooms do not rush, and neither do we. We'll move slowly from here, letting the science unfold at the same gentle pace as the underground networks we're exploring, allowing the mind to settle naturally as we begin this quiet journey beneath the surface. To understand mushrooms, it helps to begin by gently setting aside the categories we usually use to describe living things. Mushrooms are not plants, and they are not animals. They belong to their own biological kingdom, fungi, which operates according to rules that are fundamentally different from both. This distinction is not just technical. It shapes how mushrooms grow, how they survive, and how they interact with the world around them. Plants create their own energy using sunlight, converting light into sugars through photosynthesis. Animals consume energy by eating plants or other animals. Mushrooms do neither. They do not rely on sunlight, and they do not ingest food in a traditional sense. Instead, fungi absorb nutrients directly from their surroundings. They release enzymes into soil, wood, or organic matter, breaking complex materials down externally before absorbing what they need. This method is quiet, efficient, and largely invisible. At a cellular level, fungi are distinct as well. Their cell walls are made from chitin, the same durable material found in insect exoskeletons, rather than the cellulose used by plants. This gives fungal cells strength and flexibility, allowing them to grow through dense materials like soil and wood. Growth does not happen through upward movement toward light, but through gradual expansion outward in all directions, guided by chemical conditions rather than orientation. What we commonly call a mushroom is only one part of the organism. It is a temporary structure designed for reproduction rather than survival. The real body of the fungus exists elsewhere, usually hidden from view. This body, called mycelium, is a network of microscopic filaments that spreads through its environment. These filaments are constantly growing, branching, and adapting, responding to moisture, nutrients, and temperature without awareness or intention. Because fungi grow outward rather than upward, their presence is often unnoticed. They do not announce themselves with leaves or flowers. They work quietly, breaking down material, exchanging nutrients, and shaping their environment over long periods of time. The visible mushroom appears only when conditions are favorable, often after the organism has been established for months or years. From an evolutionary perspective, fungi are ancient. They appeared on Earth long before flowering plants or complex animals. Their survival strategy has always been based on adaptation rather than speed. Instead of competing for light or territory aggressively, fungi occupy spaces others cannot use. They thrive in decay, darkness, and stillness, environments that reward patience rather than force. This way of existing aligns naturally with quiet observation. There is no urgency in fungal growth. Nothing happens quickly enough to demand attention. Processes unfold slowly, guided by chemistry and environment, rather than movement or sound. For the human mind, learning about systems that operate at this pace can feel grounding. Attention relaxes when there is nothing to track moment by moment. Understanding what mushrooms actually are helps shift expectations. They are not passive plants, nor are they active animals. They are absorbers, recyclers, and connectors, living through interaction rather than control. Their biology reflects balance rather than dominance, persistence rather than speed. As we continue, we'll move beneath the surface to explore how these organisms exist mostly out of sight, forming networks that extend far beyond what the eye can see. there is no need to remember details or follow closely. The science will unfold gently, at the same unhurried pace that mushrooms themselves follow, allowing the mind to settle as we move deeper into this quiet biological world. Most of a mushroom's life takes place far from view, unfolding quietly beneath soil, bark, leaf litter, or decaying wood. What appears above ground is only a brief expression of something much larger and longer lived. The true body of a fungus is its mycelium, a vast network of fine, thread-like structures that grow outward through the environment, responding gently to moisture, nutrients, and temperature. Mycelium is made up of microscopic filaments called hyphae. Each hypha grows by extending at its tip, inching forward through tiny spaces that are invisible to the eye. This growth is slow and steady, guided by chemical gradients rather than direction or intention. There is no central control and no awareness guiding the process. The network expands simply by following favorable conditions, branching where nutrients are available and pausing where they are not. Because mycelium grows in all directions, it does not resemble the upward form we usually associate with living things. Instead, it spreads like a living fabric, weaving itself through soil particles and organic matter. Over time, this fabric can cover enormous areas. Some individual fungal networks have been found to extend across many acres, persisting quietly for decades or longer, completely unseen. This hidden growth allows fungi to access resources that other organisms cannot reach. By spreading through narrow spaces and penetrating dense material, mycelium can extract nutrients locked away in wood, leaves, and soil. Enzymes released by the hyphae break these materials down externally, transforming complex compounds into simpler forms that can be absorbed. This process happens slowly, without sound or movement, reshaping the environment at a chemical level. The underground life of fungi is continuous. Unlike the visible mushroom, which appears briefly and then fades, mycelium remains active year-round, as long as conditions allow. Even when surface conditions seem still, growth continues below, adapting quietly to changes in moisture and temperature. There is no clear beginning or end to this process, only ongoing adjustment. From a biological perspective, this hidden existence is efficient. Energy is invested in expansion and maintenance rather than display. The fungus does not need to be seen to function. It does not compete for attention or visibility. It simply continues its work, supporting cycles of decay and renewal beneath the surface. For the human mind, this unseen activity offers a calming perspective. Life does not need to be obvious to be active. Important processes often unfold quietly, without announcement. Learning about systems that operate beyond perception can soften the urge to monitor or control, allowing attention to relax. As we move deeper into the science of mushrooms, we'll continue to explore how these hidden networks connect living systems, support entire ecosystems, and operate on timescales that reward patience rather than urgency. There is nothing here to watch or follow closely. Like the mycelium itself, the story continues gently beneath the surface, steady and unhurried, allowing the mind to drift along without effort as we continue this quiet journey. As mycelium spreads beneath the surface, it does more than absorb nutrients for a single organism. These underground networks often overlap, intertwine, and interact with the roots of plants and other fungi, forming complex living connections that quietly support entire ecosystems. This activity happens without awareness or intention. It is guided entirely by chemistry, proximity, and environmental conditions. When fungal hyphae encounter plant roots, a partnership can form. In these relationships, the mycelium wraps gently around or enters the root tissue, creating a direct exchange point. Plants provide sugars produced through photosynthesis, while fungi deliver water and minerals gathered from the soil. This exchange is constant and balanced, adjusting automatically as conditions change. No signals are sent with purpose. The interaction simply follows biological rules that favor mutual benefit. These fungal networks can link multiple plants together. Through shared mycelium, nutrients, and chemical compounds can move from one root system to another. This does not mean the fungi or plants are communicating in a conscious way. Instead, it reflects passive transfer along gradients of availability. Where nutrients are abundant, they flow. Where they are scarce, they are drawn in. The result is a stabilizing effect across the environment. Because these connections happen underground, they are rarely noticed. Forests may appear still on the surface, while beneath the soil, resources are constantly being redistributed. This hidden activity helps plants survive periods of stress, such as drought or low nutrient availability. Fungal networks act as buffers, smoothing out extremes over time. From an ecological perspective, mycelial networks increase resilience. By spreading risk and resources across many organisms, ecosystems become less fragile. Damage in one area does not immediately collapse the system. Support arrives gradually through shared underground pathways, guided by biology rather than coordination. The scale of these networks can be vast. In some environments, a single fungal organism may connect thousands of plants. Growth happens incrementally over long periods, responding to seasonal changes without urgency. The network expands where conditions allow and retreats where they do not, always adjusting without disruption. For the human mind, understanding these living connections can feel grounding. Life does not exist in isolation. Support often comes from unseen systems working quietly in the background. There is no need for constant action or awareness for balance to emerge. Stability is built slowly, through countless small interactions rather than dramatic events. Mycelial networks reflect a form of connection that does not require recognition. They function whether or not they are observed. This quiet reliability mirrors many biological processes that sustain life without attention. Learning about these systems can ease the sense that everything must be managed or monitored. As we continue, we'll explore how these underground connections allow mushrooms to shape entire environments, influencing cycles of growth, decay, and renewal. There is no rush to follow every detail. Like the networks themselves, the story unfolds slowly, steady and interconnected, allowing the mind to remain relaxed as we move deeper into the quiet science beneath the forest floor. One of the most important roles mushrooms play in nature happens quietly and without visibility. Mushrooms are primary decomposers, organisms responsible for breaking down materials that would otherwise accumulate and remain unusable. This process is slow, chemical, and essential for life on land to continue functioning. When plants, trees, and other organisms die, their tissues are made of complex compounds like cellulose and lignin. these materials are difficult to break down. Few organisms have the tools to process them. Fungi are among the rare life forms capable of doing so. They release specialized enzymes into their surroundings, dissolving these complex structures into simpler components that can be absorbed and reused. This breakdown does not happen all at once. It unfolds gradually over weeks, months, or even years. As fungi work through organic matter, they change its structure and chemistry step by step. What once was solid wood becomes soft. What was rigid becomes porous. Nutrients locked away inside are slowly released back into the environment. Decomposition may sound destructive, but it is part of renewal. Without fungi, forests would be buried under fallen trees and layers of undecomposed material. Nutrients would remain trapped, unavailable to new growth. Mushrooms prevent this stagnation by continuously recycling matter, allowing life to begin again from what has already passed. From a biological perspective, decomposition is not an ending. It is a transition. Fungi guide this transition quietly, without movement or noise. Their work happens at the boundary between life and decay, where transformation occurs slowly and steadily rather than abruptly. The conditions fungi require for decomposition are specific. Moisture, temperature, and available material all influence how quickly enzymes can work. When conditions are unfavorable, the process slows or pauses. When conditions improve, activity resumes. This flexibility allows fungi to respond gently to their environment without forcing change. For the human mind, there is something calming about this process. Nothing is wasted, nothing is rushed. Even decay follows a measured rhythm, guided by chemistry rather than urgency. Learning about decomposition can soften resistance to stillness and gradual change, reminding the mind that progress does not need to be visible to be real. Mushrooms do not decompose to achieve a goal. They decompose because it is how they exist. Their biology is aligned with transformation rather than accumulation. This quiet function supports entire ecosystems, even though it often goes unnoticed. As we move forward, we'll continue to explore how this hidden work influences soil, plants, and the balance of ecosystems over time. There is no need to hold on to details. Like decomposition itself, understanding can settle gradually, allowing the mind to relax as the science continues to unfold at a gentle, unhurried pace. As mushrooms continue their work as decomposers, the effects spread far beyond the material they directly touch. Through slow and steady breakdown, fungi help recycle nutrients on a planetary scale. Elements like carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus are released gradually from dead organic matter, returning to the soil where they can be reused by plants, microbes, and other living systems. This recycling happens invisibly. There is no sudden release or dramatic change. Enzymes work at the molecular level, separating complex compounds into simpler forms that can move through soil and water. These nutrients do not belong to any one organism. They circulate continuously, guided by chemistry rather than ownership, passing quietly from one form of life to another. Carbon cycling is one of the most important roles fungi play. When plants grow, they pull carbon from the atmosphere and store it in their tissues. When those plants die, fungi help release that carbon back into the environment over time. Some of it returns to the air, while some becomes part of the soil, stored for long periods. This balance helps regulate the composition of the atmosphere without sudden shifts. Nitrogen follows a similar path. Locked inside plant and animal matter, it becomes inaccessible without decomposition. Fungi convert nitrogen-containing compounds into forms that plants can absorb through their roots. This slow release supports steady growth rather than rapid surges, keeping ecosystems balanced and resilient. From a biological perspective, recycling is essential because resources are finite. Life persists not by creating new matter, but by reusing what already exists. Fungi specialize in this task, filling a role that few other organisms can perform. Their contribution is constant but subtle, shaping the environment without drawing attention to itself. This quiet recycling also affects soil structure. As organic material breaks down, it becomes part of the soil matrix, improving its ability to retain water and support root growth. Fungal activity helps create soil that is rich, stable, and capable of sustaining life over long periods. These changes unfold slowly, layer by layer, season by season. For the human mind, there is reassurance in knowing that balance is maintained through gentle processes rather than force. The planet does not rely on sudden corrections. It relies on countless small actions happening continuously beneath the surface. Learning about these processes can encourage a sense of ease, reminding the mind that stability often comes from patience and repetition. Fungi do not hurry the recycling process. They respond to conditions as they are, adjusting their activity without urgency. When the environment is dry or cold, decomposition slows. When warmth and moisture return, it resumes. This responsiveness allows ecosystems to adapt naturally to changing conditions. As we continue, we'll look more closely at how these recycled nutrients support plant life and shape entire landscapes. There is no need to track each element or process. Like the cycles themselves, understanding can remain broad and gentle, allowing the mind to stay relaxed as the science continues to move quietly forward, steady and unforced, beneath the living surface of the earth. Beyond breaking down organic matter, mushrooms form some of the most widespread and quietly important partnerships on Earth. Many fungi live in close association with plants, especially through their roots. These relationships are known as mycorrhizal partnerships, and they are built on steady exchange rather than competition. In these partnerships, fungal mycelium grows alongside or within plant roots, extending far beyond the reach of the roots themselves. Plants are limited in how much soil they can access directly. Fungal networks solve this limitation by acting as extensions of the root system. Through this expanded reach, fungi gather water and minerals from the surrounding environment and deliver them to the plant. In return, plants provide fungi with sugars produced during photosynthesis. These sugars are a reliable energy source, allowing the fungus to continue growing and maintaining its underground network. The exchange happens continuously, guided by concentration gradients rather than conscious signaling. When resources are abundant, transfer increases. When resources are scarce, the flow adjusts naturally. This partnership benefits both sides, but it is not coordinated or planned. It emerges from biological compatibility. Over millions of years, plants and fungi that supported each other survived more successfully than those that did not. The result is a system that feels cooperative without requiring awareness or intention. Mycorrhizal partnerships help plants withstand stress. During dry periods, fungal networks can access moisture trapped deep in the soil. During nutrient shortages, fungi can mobilize minerals that roots alone cannot reach. This support does not eliminate hardship, but it softens extremes, allowing plants to remain stable over time. From an ecological perspective, these partnerships shape entire landscapes. Forests with healthy fungal networks tend to be more diverse and resilient. Plants grow more evenly, soil remains richer, and recovery from disturbance happens more smoothly. All of this unfolds underground, unseen and unannounced. For the human mind, these partnerships offer a quiet reminder that support often comes from systems we rarely notice. Strength does not always appear as independence. Sometimes it appears as connection, maintained steadily without attention or acknowledgement. Mushrooms do not seek partnership, and plants do not choose collaboration. Their relationship is a result of biology, responding to conditions over time. This absence of intention makes the system reliable. It continues whether or not it is observed, functioning quietly as long as life persists. As we continue, we'll explore how these partnerships extend beyond individual plants, forming networks that link entire communities together. There is no need to hold on to details. Like the underground connections themselves, understanding can remain broad and gentle, allowing the mind to stay relaxed as we move deeper into the quiet systems that support life beneath the surface. As fungal networks expand through soil and root systems, their influence begins to reach beyond individual partnerships. These underground structures allow substances to move through the environment in ways that appear coordinated, even though no organism involved is directing the process. What looks like communication is actually the result of chemistry, proximity, and flow. Within mycelial networks, nutrients, water, and signaling molecules move along paths of least resistance. When a plant has excess sugars, those compounds can travel through shared fungal connections toward areas where they are needed. When nutrients are scarce in one location and abundant in another, gradients form and materials shift accordingly. This movement happens quietly, guided by physical laws rather than awareness. Because these transfers can affect multiple plants, fungal networks often stabilize entire communities. A shaded plant may receive additional resources through shared connections, while a healthier plant supplies more than it needs. This redistribution does not involve intention or choice. It emerges naturally from the structure of the network itself. Chemical signals also move through these systems. When plants experience stress, certain compounds can be released into the surrounding soil. Fungal networks may carry these compounds outward, influencing how neighboring plants respond. This process does not involve warning or planning. It reflects passive diffusion and absorption, shaped by the layout of roots and mycelium. Scientists sometimes describe these systems using language borrowed from communication, but it is important to remain grounded in biology. Fungal networks do not think, decide, or coordinate. They simply allow substances to move. The resulting effects can look organized because the system has evolved to be efficient and balanced. From an ecological standpoint, this efficiency increases resilience. Stress in one area does not immediately overwhelm the system. Resources shift gradually, supporting recovery rather than collapse. This buffering effect unfolds continuously without any part of the system needing to be aware of the larger whole. For the human mind, learning about these underground systems can feel calming. Order does not require control. Balance can arise from simple rules applied consistently over time. The forest floor remains quiet, yet beneath it, stability is constantly being maintained. These hidden exchanges remind us that connection does not need to be loud or visible to be effective. Important adjustments can happen slowly, beneath awareness, guided by structure rather than intention. As we move forward, we'll continue to explore how these quiet systems influence environmental balance on larger scales. There is no need to picture every pathway or process. Like the networks themselves, the understanding can remain diffuse and gentle, allowing the mind to stay relaxed as the science continues to unfold, steady and unseen beneath the surface. Through decomposition, partnership, and underground networks, mushrooms quietly shape the balance of entire environments. Their influence is not localized to one plant or one patch of soil. It extends outward, affecting how ecosystems grow, recover, and sustain themselves over time. This balance emerges gradually, built from countless small interactions rather than dramatic events. Fungal activity helps regulate nutrient availability. By releasing minerals slowly and steadily, fungi prevent sudden surges or shortages that could destabilize plant communities. Growth becomes more even. Competition is softened. No single species dominates simply because resources appeared all at once. Balance is maintained through timing rather than control. Mushrooms also contribute to soil stability. As organic matter is broken down and transformed, it becomes part of the soil structure itself. This improves water retention, reduces erosion, and creates conditions that support diverse root systems. These changes are not visible from the surface, but they influence how landscapes respond to rain, drought, and seasonal shifts. From a larger perspective, fungi help ecosystems recover from disturbance. After storms, fires, or periods of stress, fungal networks often remain intact beneath the surface. They continue recycling nutrients and supporting new growth long before visible recovery begins. This quiet persistence allows environments to rebuild without needing intervention. Environmental balance depends on continuity. Sudden changes are more difficult to absorb than gradual ones. Fungi support continuity by operating steadily across time, responding to conditions as they are rather than forcing outcomes. When conditions are favorable, activity increases. When they are not, it slows. Nothing is rushed. Because this work happens out of sight, it is easy to overlook. Forests, fields, and soils may appear unchanged while complex adjustments are underway beneath them. This hidden stability is what allows surface life to feel calm and predictable. As we continue, we'll explore how this quiet balance reflects broader patterns in nature, where systems remain resilient not through strength or speed, but through patience and consistency. There is nothing here to follow closely. The science continues gently, steady, and unforced, allowing understanding to settle naturally as the quiet work of mushrooms carries on beneath the living world. Mushrooms operate on a timeline that is very different from what we usually notice in daily life. Their growth is not measured in moments or quick changes, but in gradual shifts that unfold over days, weeks, and sometimes years. What looks like a sudden appearance is almost always the result of long preparation happening quietly beneath the surface. Before a mushroom ever emerges, its mycelial network may have been growing for months. During this time, it spreads, gathers nutrients, and responds to subtle changes in moisture and temperature. Nothing announces this progress. There are no visible markers of advancement. The work continues steadily, guided by environmental conditions rather than urgency. When conditions finally align, a mushroom can appear quickly, sometimes overnight. This contrast between long preparation and brief visibility can feel surprising. In reality, the speed is only apparent. The growth above ground is supported by a slow, patient foundation that has already been established. The visible moment is simply the final phase of a much longer process. From a biological standpoint, this slow pacing is efficient. Energy is not wasted on constant production. Growth occurs only when it is likely to succeed. If conditions are unfavorable, the fungus waits. There is no penalty for pausing. Time is not a resource that fungi rush to use. Seasonal changes also shape fungal time. Temperature, rainfall, and daylight all influence activity, but they do so gradually. Fungi respond by adjusting their metabolism rather than forcing growth. When environments are cold or dry, processes slow naturally. When warmth and moisture return, activity resumes without needing to restart from the beginning. This rhythm reflects a broader pattern in nature, where stability often comes from patience rather than speed. Systems that move slowly are less likely to be disrupted by sudden change. Fungal networks persist by remaining flexible, expanding, and resting in cycles that match their surroundings. For listeners, learning about fungal time can encourage a softer relationship with waiting. Not everything needs to happen immediately to be effective. Progress can exist without visibility. The slow unfolding of fungal life offers a reminder that preparation and rest are as much a part of growth as action. As we continue, we'll explore what causes mushrooms to emerge when they do, and how environmental cues guide their brief appearance above ground. There is no need to anticipate what comes next. Like fungal time itself, the story moves forward gradually, allowing attention to relax and settle as the science continues at its own gentle pace. Mushrooms often seem to appear suddenly after rainfall, as though they emerged overnight without warning. This timing is not coincidence. Rain creates the precise conditions fungi need to complete the final stage of their life cycle, allowing the hidden work beneath the surface to briefly become visible. Moisture is essential for fungal growth. The mycelial network beneath the ground depends on water to transport nutrients and support cellular expansion. During dry periods, growth slows and activity is conserved. Rain rehydrates the soil, restoring the conditions needed for metabolic processes to accelerate gently and efficiently. Temperature also plays a role. Many fungi respond best to mild conditions rather than extremes. After rainfall, temperatures often stabilize, creating an environment that supports rapid expansion of the mushroom structure. The visible mushroom grows quickly, not because the fungus is rushing, but because the groundwork has already been laid over long periods of quiet growth. Humidity above ground is just as important. Mushrooms are delicate structures. Dry air can cause them to lose moisture quickly, limiting their ability to release spores. After rain, humidity remains elevated, allowing mushrooms to fully develop and complete their reproductive role before conditions shift again. From a biological perspective, rain acts as a signal rather than a trigger. It does not cause the fungus to exist. It simply indicates that the moment is right for visibility. When moisture, temperature, and air conditions align, the fungus responds by producing a mushroom, briefly revealing a process that has been ongoing all along. This responsiveness reflects efficiency rather than urgency. Fungi do not produce mushrooms constantly. They wait. When the environment offers support, they act. When it does not, they remain hidden. This selective timing conserves energy and increases the likelihood that reproduction will succeed. For the human mind, this pattern can feel grounding. Not all activity needs to be visible to be meaningful. Some processes unfold quietly until the right conditions allow them to surface. Rain does not create the work, it simply allows it to be seen. As we continue, we'll explore the life cycle that follows this appearance, from spore release to renewed underground growth. There is no need to watch closely. Like the rain itself, the science moves gently and passes naturally, leaving behind conditions that support continued balance and rest as the quiet story of mushrooms carries on beneath awareness. Once a mushroom appears above the surface, it enters the brief visible phase of a much longer biological cycle. This stage is not about growth or survival. It exists almost entirely for reproduction. The mushroom's role is to produce and release spores, allowing the fungal organism to extend its presence into new areas over time. Spores are microscopic reproductive units, released in enormous numbers. A single mushroom can produce millions, sometimes billions, of spores during its short lifespan. These spores are so small and light that they drift easily through air currents, settling quietly onto soil, wood, or organic material far from their point of origin. Most will never develop further. A few will land in environments where conditions are just right. When a spore encounters sufficient moisture, warmth, and nutrients, it begins to grow. It sends out tiny filaments that develop into new hyphae, gradually forming a fresh mycelial network. This process is slow and uncertain. Growth may stop if conditions change. There is no urgency to succeed. The system relies on numbers and patience rather than precision. The visible mushroom often fades quickly after releasing its spores. It may dry out, collapse, or decompose, returning its material to the soil. This disappearance is not failure. It is completion. The function of the mushroom has been fulfilled, and the organism's main body continues underground, largely unchanged. From a biological perspective, this cycle reflects efficiency. Energy is invested only when conditions support reproduction. There is no attempt to preserve the mushroom structure beyond its purpose. The focus remains on continuity rather than permanence. This cycle repeats quietly across landscapes, season after season. Spores travel, networks form, and mushrooms appear briefly before returning to stillness. The rhythm is gentle and consistent, guided by environment rather than direction. For the human mind, there is calm in this repetition. Nothing needs to last forever to matter. Presence can be brief and still be complete. The mushroom does not cling to visibility. It appears, releases, and dissolves, allowing the cycle to continue without interruption. As we move forward, we'll explore how fungi produce the chemical tools that allow them to survive, interact, and adapt within these cycles. There is no need to track each stage. Like the life cycle itself, understanding can unfold gradually, allowing attention to remain soft and settled as the quiet science of mushrooms continues. Some mushrooms produce chemical compounds that interact with biological systems in precise and measurable ways. From a scientific perspective, this is not unusual. Across nature, many organisms produce molecules that influence the physiology of other living systems. In fungi, these compounds evolved as part of survival strategies, shaped by environmental pressure rather than intention or awareness. At the most basic level, the nervous system operates through chemistry. Neurons communicate using molecules that bind to receptors, triggering electrical and chemical changes that allow signals to pass from cell to cell. When a compound produced by a fungus has a molecular structure similar to naturally occurring signaling chemicals, it can interact with these same pathways. This interaction is governed by shape, charge, and concentration, rather than meaning or purpose. Neuroscientific research focuses on how these compounds bind to receptors and how that binding alters signaling patterns. Scientists examine how molecules move through the body, how they cross biological barriers, how long they remain active, and how they are broken down. This work is slow, controlled, and highly regulated, emphasizing measurement and mechanism over interpretation. Importantly, the brain does not interpret compounds as external or internal. It responds only to chemistry. If a molecule fits a receptor, interaction occurs. If it does not, nothing happens. This neutrality is a defining feature of biological systems. The nervous system reacts to structure, not context, which is why compounds from plants, fungi, and even synthetic sources can interact with the same neural pathways. It is also important to understand scale. The compounds studied in neuroscience represent only a very small fraction of fungal chemistry. Most mushrooms do not produce molecules that interact directly with neural receptors in noticeable ways. Their chemical activity is primarily focused on digestion, decomposition, defense, and environmental interaction. Neurologically active compounds are rare within the fungal kingdom and do not define it. From a biological standpoint, these studies help clarify how sensitive and adaptable the nervous system is. They reveal how finely tuned receptor systems are and how small molecular differences can lead to different outcomes in signaling. This knowledge contributes to broader understanding of neural regulation, balance, and stability, independent of any single compound or organism. Research in this area remains grounded in structure and function. Scientists are not studying experience itself, but the mechanisms that make experience possible. By examining how external molecules interact with neural systems, researchers gain insight into how the brain maintains equilibrium and how signaling pathways are regulated over time. This scientific framing keeps attention anchored in biology rather than narrative. There is no need to imagine effects or outcomes. The focus remains on interaction at the molecular level, where chemistry meets neural function quietly and predictably. As we continue, we'll return to the broader biology of mushrooms, moving away from the nervous system and back into the long-term strategies fungi use to survive, adapt, and persist. The pace remains slow and steady, allowing understanding to settle naturally as the science unfolds, without urgency or demand. and without pulling the mind into analysis or speculation as this quiet journey continues. Fungi survive in environments that are often dark, crowded, and competitive. They do not move quickly, and they cannot escape unfavorable conditions. Instead, their primary tool for interaction with the world is chemistry. Over long periods of evolution, fungi developed the ability to produce a wide range of chemical compounds that help them persist, defend themselves, and shape their surroundings. Unlike animals, fungi cannot physically avoid threats. They cannot flee predators or relocate when resources are scarce. Chemical production allows them to influence nearby organisms without movement. Some compounds discourage insects or microbes from consuming fungal tissue. Others slow the growth of competing organisms nearby. These interactions happen silently, guided by molecular structure rather than awareness. Chemical diversity in fungi is vast. Thousands of unique compounds have been identified, with many more still unstudied. These molecules differ in structure, stability, and function. Some break down organic material. Others bind to proteins or disrupt cellular processes in competing organisms. Each compound reflects a specific evolutionary pressure rather than a general purpose. From a biological perspective, chemical production is energy intensive. Fungi do not create these compounds unnecessarily. Production increases when conditions require it and decreases when it does not. This responsiveness allows fungi to conserve energy while remaining adaptable. Chemistry becomes a flexible tool, adjusted continuously in response to environmental cues. These compounds are often localized. They are released into immediate surroundings rather than broadcast widely. This limits unintended effects and keeps interactions targeted. Fungal chemistry works best at close range, influencing nearby cells, roots, microbes, or tissues. The effects remain subtle, rarely dramatic, but persistent over time. Fungi also use chemistry to regulate their own growth. Internal signaling molecules guide when to expand, when to pause, and when to produce reproductive structures. These internal processes operate without coordination or planning. They follow biochemical thresholds rather than decisions, ensuring that growth remains aligned with environmental conditions. Some fungal compounds have drawn scientific attention because they interact with animal nervous systems. From the fungus's perspective, this interaction is incidental. These molecules evolved for survival or defense, not for influencing perception. The nervous system responds because it is sensitive to chemistry, not because the compound was designed for that purpose. Understanding this context helps ground the discussion, helps keep focus on biology rather than interpretation. Fungal chemistry exists to maintain balance, discourage threats, and regulate growth. Its interactions with other organisms are side effects of shared biochemical pathways rather than intentional signals. For the human mind, this slow chemical strategy can feel calming to consider. Nothing happens suddenly. Change is mediated through gradual molecular interaction rather than force or urgency. Chemistry works quietly, shaping outcomes over time without dramatic intervention. As this understanding settles, attention naturally slows. The idea that survival can depend on patience and subtle influence, rather than speed or strength, offers a different frame of reference. Fungi persist not by overpowering their environment, but by harmonizing with it chemically, adjusting continuously without effort or awareness. As we continue, we'll explore how this chemical adaptability contributes to fungal longevity and resilience across changing environments. There is no need to follow every mechanism closely. Like the chemistry itself, understanding can diffuse gently, allowing the mind to remain relaxed as the science unfolds slowly and steadily, guided by balance rather than demand. Fungi are among the oldest surviving life forms on Earth, and their continued presence reflects a strategy centered on endurance rather than dominance. Long before forests, flowering plants, or large animals appeared, fungi were already shaping the planet's surface, interacting with minerals, organic matter, and early life in quiet and persistent ways. Their survival across hundreds of millions of years is not accidental. It is the result of biological flexibility and restraint. One reason fungi persist so effectively is their ability to tolerate change. Environmental conditions on Earth have shifted dramatically over time, including changes in climate, atmosphere, and available resources. Fungi adapted not by specializing narrowly, but by remaining chemically and structurally versatile. They can slow their metabolism when conditions are harsh and resume activity when conditions improve, without needing to restart their life cycle. This adaptability is supported by the structure of fungi networks beneath the surface. Because growth is distributed across many branching filaments, damage to one area does not end the organism's existence. Portions of the network can be lost while others continue functioning. Over time, growth resumes where conditions allow, guided by environmental cues rather than urgency. Fungi also survive by occupying spaces that other organisms overlook. They thrive in darkness, low light, and dense material where competition is reduced. Decaying wood, deep soil, and organic debris become stable habitats rather than obstacles. By specializing in these environments, fungi avoid direct competition with plants and animals that rely on sunlight or movement. Chemical adaptability further supports long-term survival. Fungi adjust the compounds they produce based on environmental pressure. When threats increase, defensive chemistry becomes more prominent. When resources are scarce, metabolic activity slows. These adjustments happen automatically, guided by internal biochemical thresholds rather than awareness or decision-making. Reproduction also reflects a long-term strategy. Instead of relying on frequent success, fungi produce vast numbers of spores, accepting that most will not survive. This approach favors patience over precision. Over long periods of time, enough spores encounter favorable conditions to sustain populations across changing environments. From an evolutionary perspective, fungi succeed because they do not require consistency. They persist through variability. Where conditions fluctuate, they wait. Where opportunity appears, they respond. This rhythm aligns with geological time rather than human time, allowing survival through eras of change without urgency or strain. For the human mind, considering this timescale can feel grounding. Survival does not require constant effort. Stability can emerge from flexibility, rest, and responsiveness rather than force. Fungi demonstrate that enduring systems often operate quietly, adjusting subtly rather than reacting dramatically. As attention settles into this longer view, urgency fades naturally. The idea that life continues steadily beneath visible change offers reassurance. Fungi remain present whether they are noticed or not, maintaining continuity through adaptation rather than resistance. As we continue, we'll explore how this resilience shapes broader biological balance and long-term stability. There is no need to track every detail. Like the survival strategies of fungi themselves, understanding can unfold slowly, allowing the mind to remain calm as the science continues its quiet, steady progression through time. Fungi resilience is not based on strength, speed, or dominance, but on an ability to remain stable across long periods of uncertainty. These organisms persist in environments that change slowly and unpredictably, adjusting their activity without needing to resist or overcome conditions. This resilience emerges from flexibility rather than force, allowing fungi to remain present even when circumstances are unfavorable. One of the key factors behind this resilience is metabolic control. Fungi can slow their internal processes dramatically when resources are limited. Growth pauses, energy use decreases, and activity becomes minimal. This is not failure or dormancy in the traditional sense. It is conservation. When conditions improve, metabolism increases again, and growth resumes without needing to rebuild from the beginning. This ability to pause and continue is supported by the distributed nature of fungi networks. Because the organism exists as an interconnected web rather than a single structure, damage to one area does not threaten the whole. If a portion of the network dries out, freezes, or is disrupted, other sections may remain active elsewhere. Over time, growth can return to damaged regions if conditions allow. Environmental stressors such as temperature shifts, moisture changes, or nutrient scarcity do not require immediate reaction. Fungi respond gradually, adjusting enzyme production, chemical signaling, and growth patterns in subtle ways. These changes unfold over time, guided by thresholds rather than urgency. There is no internal signal demanding immediate resolution. From an ecological perspective, this resilience benefits entire ecosystems. Because fungi remain present even during difficult periods, they continue supporting nutrient cycling and soil structure when other organisms slow or withdraw. This continuity helps environments recover more smoothly after disturbance, reducing sharp transitions that could destabilize the system. Fungi also display resilience through redundancy. Multiple species often occupy the same environment, each contributing slightly different functions. If one species declines, others may continue similar roles. This overlap prevents collapse and supports balance through diversity rather than specialization. Stability emerges from many quiet contributors rather than a single dominant force. At a biological level, this strategy reflects an acceptance of variability. Fungi do not attempt to control their environment, they adjust to it. Growth, chemistry, and reproduction all remain flexible, responding to what is available rather than what is ideal. This adaptability allows survival across timescales that far exceed individual lifespans. For the human mind, learning about this form of resilience can feel reassuring. Stability does not require constant action. Persistence can be built from rest, adjustment, and patience, rather than effort alone. Fungi demonstrate that enduring systems often succeed by yielding slightly, rather than pushing forward continuously. As attention settles into this understanding, urgency softens. The idea that life can remain intact through gentle adjustment, rather than constant struggle, offers a quieter frame of reference. Nothing needs to be forced. Continuity emerges naturally when systems are allowed to respond slowly. As we continue, we'll explore how this long-term resilience influences broader ecological balance and the way landscapes remain stable over time. There is no need to follow each detail closely. Like the resilience of fungi themselves, understanding can unfold gradually, allowing the mind to remain calm and supported as the science continues at an unhurried pace. When environments are disrupted, recovery does not arrive suddenly or announce itself clearly. It unfolds quietly, supported by organisms that remain present even when surface life appears diminished. Fungi play a central role in this gradual process of recovery because the majority of their structure exists below ground, insulated from many of the disturbances that affect plants and animals above the surface. After events such as storms, fires, flooding, or extended periods of environmental stress, visible growth may slow or disappear entirely. Leaves fall, branches collapse, and soil surfaces may appear barren or inactive. Beneath this stillness, fungi networks often remain intact within soil layers, decaying organic matter and root systems. While their activity may slow, it rarely stops completely. Enzymatic processes continue at low levels, allowing chemical transformation to proceed quietly, even when conditions are not ideal. As damaged plant material accumulates, fungi begin preparing the environment for renewal. Fallen wood, leaves, and roots are gradually broken down through external digestion. Enzymes released into surrounding material dissolve complex compounds into simpler forms that can be absorbed and reused. This process prevents organic debris from becoming an obstacle to recovery. Instead of blocking regrowth, what has fallen becomes a resource for what follows. This transformation happens slowly. There are no sharp transitions or visible milestones. Chemical change unfolds over weeks, months, and sometimes years. During this time, nutrients are released at a pace that supports stability rather than sudden growth. This steady release reduces the risk of erosion, nutrient loss, or imbalance that could further destabilize the environment. Soil structure also changes during this period. As fungi process organic material, they contribute to the formation of soil aggregates, small clusters of particles that improve the soil's ability to retain water and allow airflow. These changes support root development and microbial life, even before new plants become visible. The surface may still appear unchanged, but conditions beneath are becoming more supportive with time. Recovery supported by fungi is rarely dramatic. There are no bursts of activity that signal completion. Instead, fungi provide continuity. Their presence ensures that essential processes continue while other organisms re-establish themselves. Nutrient cycling remains active. Soil remains functional. The environment is quietly maintained during periods when visible life is limited. Fungi also support recovery through diversity and redundancy. Many species often coexist within the same environment, each contributing slightly different chemical and structural roles. If one species declines following disturbance, others may continue performing similar functions. This overlap prevents recovery from depending on any single organism and allows stability to emerge gradually. From an ecological perspective, This approach favors long-term balance over rapid restoration. Environments supported by fungi tend to rebuild through accumulation rather than replacement. Layers of soil reform gradually. Relationships between organisms re-establish slowly. The system settles into a new equilibrium shaped by current conditions rather than forcing a return to the past. For the human mind, this pattern can feel reassuring. Recovery does not require immediate resolution or visible progress. Meaningful change can occur quietly, beneath awareness, without constant monitoring. The absence of sudden improvement does not signal failure. It often means preparation is underway. Environmental recovery guided by fungi shows that stability is not achieved through force, but through persistence. Balance returns not because something acts quickly, but because something remains. Beneath the surface, fungi continue their steady work, transforming what has fallen into what will support future growth. There is no clear moment when recovery is complete. Instead, stability gradually returns as conditions improve and life re-emerges. Fungi remain present throughout this entire process, guiding environments toward balance through patience rather than urgency. As this understanding settles, the mind can rest more easily. Nothing is being rushed. Nothing is being forced. Recovery is unfolding at the pace required for stability to endure. Beneath the surface, fungi continue their work, steady and unhurried, allowing the environment to move gently toward balance and allowing attention to soften as this quiet journey continues. Over long periods of time, landscapes do not remain stable because nothing changes. They remain stable because change is absorbed gradually. Fungi contribute to this quiet stability by operating continuously beneath the surface, smoothing transitions and softening extremes as environments shift. Their influence is not localized or temporary. It extends across soil, plants, and time itself. As seasons pass, landscapes experience repeated cycles of growth, decline, and renewal. Leaves fall, plants die back, and organic material accumulates. Without a steady process to manage this accumulation, environments would become increasingly unstable. Fungi provide that process. By breaking down organic matter and redistributing nutrients slowly, they prevent sharp imbalances from forming. This steady activity helps landscapes remain flexible rather than brittle. When conditions change gradually, systems can adapt without collapse. Fungi support this adaptability by remaining present during both favorable and unfavorable periods. They do not withdraw when conditions are difficult. Instead, their activity adjusts, slowing or resuming as the environment allows. One of the ways fungi stabilize landscapes is by regulating nutrient flow. Rather than releasing nutrients all at once, decomposition unfolds over time. This gradual release supports steady plant growth and reduces sudden surges that could favor only a few species. Diversity is maintained not through competition, but through timing. Soil stability is also shaped by fungi. As organic material is processed, it becomes integrated into the soil structure, improving its ability to retain moisture and resist erosion. This stability is especially important during periods of heavy rain or drought. When soil holds together, landscapes are less likely to degrade rapidly, even under stress. Fungi also influence how landscapes recover after disturbance, whether following storms, fires, or human activity. environments supported by healthy fungi networks tend to regain balance more smoothly. Recovery does not rely on rapid replacement of what was lost. It depends on gradual reorganization, supported by ongoing underground processes. These processes are rarely visible. From the surface, change may appear slow or absent. Beneath the soil, however, chemical interactions continue steadily. Nutrients move. Organic matter transforms. Conditions shift quietly in ways that prepare the environment for future growth. From an ecological perspective, this form of stability is resilient. Systems that rely on constant activity or rapid response are more vulnerable to disruption. Systems supported by fungi remain adaptable because they do not depend on speed. They depend on persistence. For the human mind, considering this kind of stability can feel calming. Balance does not require constant correction. It can emerge from consistent, low-level processes operating without attention. Landscapes remain functional not because they are controlled, but because they are supported continuously. This perspective also reframes how change is understood. Change does not always signal instability. When guided by gradual processes, change becomes part of balance rather than a threat to it. Fungi allow landscapes to evolve without losing coherence. As attention rests on these slow dynamics, urgency naturally fades. The idea that environments remain stable through patience rather than force allows the mind to soften its need for immediate resolution. Nothing needs to happen all at once for balance to be maintained. Over time, landscapes shaped by fungi continue to support life in quiet ways. Soil remains fertile. Plants remain connected. Nutrients continue cycling. Stability is not fixed, but it endures. As this understanding settles, awareness can rest in the knowledge that much of the world's balance is maintained without visibility or effort. Beneath the surface, fungi continue their steady work, allowing landscapes to remain grounded and resilient across time, and allowing the mind to settle into the same quiet sense of continuity, unhurried and at ease. Landscapes shaped by fungi are not collections of isolated organisms. They are interdependent systems where stability emerges from connection rather than separation. Fungi help create this interdependence by linking soil, plants, microbes, and organic matter into a continuous biological fabric that functions quietly beneath awareness. Through their underground networks, fungi connect living and non-living components of the environment. Nutrients released from decaying material do not remain in one place. They move gradually through soil and root systems, becoming available to plants and microorganisms as conditions allow. This movement is not directed or coordinated. It follows physical gradients, guided by proximity and chemistry rather than intention. Because of this connectivity, changes in one part of the environment influence others subtly over time. A fallen tree becomes a nutrient source. A stressed plant receives additional support through shared networks. Soil moisture retained in one area benefits nearby roots. These effects accumulate slowly, reinforcing balance without drawing attention to themselves. Fungi play a key role in moderating extremes. Rather than allowing resources to concentrate sharply in one location, their activity spreads availability across space and time. This moderation reduces the likelihood of sudden dominance by a single species and supports diversity across the landscape. Stability emerges not from uniformity, but from gentle distribution. Interdependence supported by fungi also increases resilience. When one component of the system is disrupted, others can compensate gradually. Loss in one area does not immediately cascade into failure elsewhere. Instead, the system absorbs change, redistributing resources and adjusting relationships until balance is restored. This quiet support extends across seasons. During periods of abundance, fungi help store nutrients within soil and organic matter. During scarcity, those stored resources become available again. The landscape does not swing abruptly between extremes. It moves through cycles with continuity. From a biological perspective, this interdependence is efficient. Energy is not wasted on constant correction. The system maintains itself through ongoing, low-level interaction. Fungi enable this by remaining present, active, and responsive beneath the surface at all times. For the human mind, understanding this kind of interdependence can feel grounding. Stability does not require isolation or control. It can arise from connection, maintained quietly and consistently. Support does not always come from visible effort. Often, it comes from systems working steadily in the background. This perspective can soften the urge to separate or simplify complex systems. Nature does not rely on single solutions or clear boundaries. It relies on overlapping roles and gradual adjustment. Fungi embody this approach, supporting life through shared pathways rather than individual dominance. As attention settles on these connections, awareness becomes less focused on individual elements and more attuned to continuity. The environment feels less fragmented. Change feels less threatening. Everything remains linked through processes that unfold slowly and reliably. There is no need to track each interaction or relationship. Like the interdependence itself, understanding can remain broad and diffuse. The science does not require focus. It simply invites awareness to rest in the idea that balance is maintained through quiet cooperation. Beneath the surface, fungi continue weaving connections that sustain landscapes over time. Their work is unseen, uninterrupted, and ongoing. As this knowledge settles, the mind can relax into the sense that stability does not depend on constant effort. It emerges naturally from systems allowed to remain connected, steady, and unforced. As this quiet journey continues, beneath every forest floor, field, and garden lies a structure that is rarely seen but constantly active. This structure is not built from roots alone, nor from soil particles by themselves. It is shaped and maintained in large part by fungi, whose presence helps give soil its form, stability, and function over time. Soil is not just dirt. It is a living system made up of minerals, organic matter, water, air, and countless organisms. Fungi play a central role in organizing these components. As they grow through soil, their networks bind particles together, creating small clusters that resist erosion and retain moisture. This binding happens gradually through physical contact and chemical interaction rather than force. As organic material enters the soil, fungi begin breaking it down and integrating it into this structure. Leaves, wood fragments, and plant remains are transformed into finer material that becomes part of the soil matrix. This process increases the soil's ability to hold nutrients and water, supporting plant growth even during periods of dryness. The architecture created by fungi also improves airflow within the soil. Small spaces form between bound particles, allowing oxygen to reach roots and microorganisms. This balance between moisture retention and airflow is essential for healthy soil. Without it, roots can suffocate or dry out, and microbial activity becomes uneven. Over time, these effects accumulate. Soil shaped by fungi becomes more resilient to environmental stress. Heavy rainfall is absorbed rather than washed away. Drought conditions are buffered by stored moisture. The surface may appear unchanged, but beneath it, stability is being reinforced continuously. This process does not require oversight or adjustment. Fungi respond automatically to their environment, expanding where conditions allow and slowing where they do not. Their influence emerges from presence rather than action, shaping the ground quietly through persistence. From an ecological perspective, this hidden architecture supports entire ecosystems. Plants grow more evenly, nutrients remain available. Recovery after disturbance happens more smoothly. All of this is made possible by systems that rarely draw attention to themselves. For the human mind, learning about this quiet construction can feel grounding. Stability does not always come from visible effort. Sometimes it comes from steady, unseen support that accumulates over time. The ground beneath us is not static. It is maintained continuously by processes that work without urgency. As attention rests on these slow changes, awareness naturally softens. There is no need to imagine movement or outcome. The science describes a system that remains reliable precisely because it changes gradually. Beneath the surface, fungi continue shaping soil in small, consistent ways. Their work does not pause, announce itself, or demand recognition. It simply continues, allowing landscapes to remain fertile and grounded, and allowing the mind to settle into the same sense of quiet support and continuity as this calm journey moves forward. Across natural environments, balance is maintained through cycles that repeat without urgency. Growth gives way to rest. Accumulation gives way to breakdown. Renewal follows decline. Fungi are deeply woven into these cycles, guiding transitions that unfold slowly and predictably beneath the surface. Their presence helps ensure that change remains rhythmic rather than abrupt. As organic material enters the environment, fungi begin interacting with it almost immediately. Leaves fall, roots die back, and wood settles into soil. Instead of allowing this material to build endlessly, fungi initiate gradual transformation. Enzymes are released, compounds are softened, and complex structures are reduced step by step. This slow processing aligns with seasonal rhythms rather than daily variation. These cycles are not synchronized to any single organism. They respond to temperature, moisture, and availability of material. During colder or drier periods, activity slows naturally. When warmth and moisture return, processes resume without needing to restart. This responsiveness allows cycles to remain continuous across changing conditions. Fungi also help regulate how quickly nutrients move through ecosystems. By controlling the pace of decomposition, they prevent sudden releases that could overwhelm plant growth or destabilize soil chemistry. Nutrients become available gradually, supporting steady development rather than bursts followed by depletion. This moderation helps ecosystems remain resilient across seasons. The repetition of these cycles creates familiarity. Environments shaped by fungi tend to change in ways that are predictable over long periods of time. Even when surface conditions fluctuate, underlying processes remain consistent. This continuity allows plants, microbes, and animals to adapt without constant disruption. From a biological perspective, cycles supported by fungi are efficient. Energy is conserved by avoiding extremes. Systems do not exhaust themselves, responding to sudden change. Instead, they move through phases that allow recovery and preparation to occur naturally. For the human mind, learning about these quiet cycles can feel calming. Life does not need to move forward continuously to remain healthy. Periods of slowing, breaking down, and resting are part of stability, not interruptions to it. Understanding this can soften the urge to push constantly toward progress. These cycles also reduce pressure on individual components of the ecosystem. No single organism carries responsibility for balance. Stability emerges from repetition and cooperation rather than control. Fungi contribute by remaining present through every phase, supporting transitions without drawing attention. As attention settles on this rhythmic view of nature, time begins to feel less compressed. Moments no longer need to be rushed. Change becomes something that unfolds rather than something that must be managed. Beneath the surface, fungi continue guiding these cycles quietly. Their work does not accelerate or pause dramatically. It adjusts gently, maintaining flow rather than forcing direction. As this understanding settles, the mind can rest within the same rhythm, allowing awareness to move slowly and evenly, supported by cycles that repeat without urgency. As this calm journey continues onward, much of what fungi do unfolds beyond ordinary awareness, not because it is hidden on purpose, but because it operates on a timescale that does not demand attention. Their processes are measured in weeks, months, and years rather than moments. Change happens incrementally through countless small adjustments that blend together until transformation feels seamless. Beneath the surface, fungi respond continuously to subtle environmental signals. Slight shifts in moisture, temperature, and nutrient availability influence how quickly networks expand or rest. These responses are not dramatic. Growth may slow by a small degree or redirect slightly. Over time, these minor changes accumulate, shaping entire environments without ever creating a clear point of transition. This slow responsiveness allows fungi to remain aligned with long-term conditions rather than short-term fluctuations. A single dry day does not alter their direction. A brief storm does not overwhelm their systems. Instead, patterns are followed gently, smoothing out extremes and favoring stability over reaction. The environment is read continuously, not urgently. Time, in this context, becomes a supportive element rather than a constraint. Processes are allowed to take as long as they need. Decomposition proceeds until materials are fully transformed. Networks expand until resources are balanced. Nothing is abandoned halfway through. Completion is not rushed because there is no pressure to finish quickly. From a biological perspective, this relationship with time is efficient. Energy is conserved when systems do not respond excessively to short-term noise. Fungi avoid unnecessary effort by prioritizing long-term signals over immediate change. This allows them to persist across variable conditions without exhausting resources. For the human mind, considering this slower experience of time can feel settling. Not everything meaningful happens quickly. Important changes often occur beneath awareness, accumulating quietly until they are complete. There is no need to monitor each step for progress to occur. This perspective also reduces the sense that time must be filled or managed constantly. In natural systems, long periods of apparent stillness are not empty. They are active in ways that do not announce themselves. Fungi embody this quiet activity, continuing their work whether or not it is observed. As attention rests on these ideas, awareness can loosen its grip on immediacy. Moments stretch gently. The urge to track outcomes fades. Understanding does not need to arrive all at once. It can settle gradually, just as environmental change does. Beneath the surface, fungi continue adjusting, expanding, and resting in response to conditions that change slowly over time. Their work remains steady, uninterrupted, and patient. There is no deadline guiding their activity, only alignment with the environment as it is. As this sense of extended time settles in, the mind may feel less pressured to move forward quickly. Nothing is being missed. Processes are unfolding exactly as they need to. Like the work of fungi themselves, understanding can remain slow and spacious, allowing awareness to rest comfortably within time rather than push against it. Mushrooms are the most visible part of a much larger biological system. What appears above the surface is only a brief expression of processes that have been unfolding quietly below for long periods of time. When we talk about balance in nature, mushrooms offer a gentle reminder that stability often begins out of sight, supported by fungi networks beneath the soil. These mushrooms do not emerge randomly. Their appearance reflects conditions that have slowly aligned underground. Moisture, temperature, available nutrients, and chemical signals all reach a threshold that allows a mushroom to form. When that balance shifts, mushrooms fade just as quietly, leaving the underlying fungi system intact and ready to respond again when conditions allow. Because mushrooms are temporary, they are not responsible for maintaining balance on their own. Instead, they act as indicators. Their presence signals that fungi networks are active, stable, and connected to their environment. When mushrooms appear consistently in an area, it suggests that underground systems are adjusting smoothly, rather than reacting sharply to change. This relationship allows balance to remain flexible. Fungi networks do not force mushrooms to appear. They respond proportionally to environmental conditions. When resources are abundant, mushrooms may form more readily. When conditions become limited, growth slows naturally. There is no urgency built into the system, only responsiveness. Mushrooms also demonstrate restraint. They do not grow endlessly or dominate their surroundings. Once spores are released, the mushroom's role is complete. Energy returns to the underlying network, where balance continues to be maintained quietly over time. This self-limiting pattern prevents disruption and allows other organisms to remain active within the same space. From an ecological perspective, this restraint supports long-term stability. Environments shaped by mushrooms and fungi systems tend to avoid extreme swings. Resources are shared gradually. Growth and decline occur without sharp boundaries. Balance is not enforced. It is allowed to emerge. For the human mind, This relationship can feel reassuring. Visibility does not equal importance. What lasts longest often works quietly in the background. Mushrooms appear briefly, then disappear, while the systems that support them remain steady and ongoing. This understanding softens the urge to focus only on what can be seen. Balance does not require constant presence or effort. It can be maintained beneath awareness, through systems that adjust gently rather than demand attention. As attention rests on this idea, the world feels less rigid. Change becomes part of balance rather than a threat to it. Mushrooms rise and fall, fungi networks continue below, and stability is preserved through quiet cooperation rather than control. Beneath the surface, fungi systems remain active whether mushrooms are visible or not. Their work continues steadily, shaping conditions patiently over time. As this relationship settles into awareness, the mind can relax into the understanding that balance does not need to be held tightly. It unfolds naturally, supported by systems that work quietly, consistently, and without urgency. Mushrooms communicate information about their environment without making sound or movement. Their presence, timing, and location act as a kind of biological language, revealing conditions that have been developing quietly over time. When mushrooms appear, they reflect messages sent through moisture levels, temperature shifts, nutrient availability, and chemical signals moving through fungi networks beneath the surface. Each mushroom forms only when these signals align. If the soil is too dry, too cold, or chemically unbalanced, the mushroom does not emerge. When conditions improve, growth begins without hesitation. This responsiveness makes mushrooms reliable indicators of environmental health. They do not force themselves into existence. They respond to what is already happening below. Because mushrooms are connected to fungi systems, they represent more than individual organisms. They act as surface expressions of underground activity. When mushrooms appear across a landscape, it suggests that fungi networks are stable, hydrated, and actively exchanging nutrients. When mushrooms are absent, it often reflects changes occurring beneath the soil rather than failure at the surface. This relationship allows mushrooms to convey complex information simply by existing. Their size, density, and distribution can indicate how resources are moving through an environment. A cluster of mushrooms may reflect localized abundance. A sparse appearance may suggest limited nutrients or changing conditions. Nothing is communicated directly. The message is carried through form and timing. From a biological perspective, this system is efficient. Mushrooms do not expend energy signaling unnecessarily. They appear only when reproduction is viable. When conditions no longer support growth, they fade naturally. The fungi network remains, adjusting quietly until alignment returns. Communication happens through chemistry rather than action. For the human mind, this idea can feel calming. Not all information arrives loudly or immediately. Important signals often emerge subtly, requiring patience rather than urgency. Mushrooms demonstrate that clarity can come from alignment instead of effort. This perspective shifts attention away from constant analysis. There is no need to interpret every change aggressively. When mushrooms appear, they offer information gently. When they disappear, they do so without alarm. The environment continues communicating whether it is observed or not. As awareness rests on this quiet language, understanding becomes less about decoding and more about noticing. The world does not rush to explain itself. It reveals patterns gradually through repetition and response. Beneath the surface, fungi networks continue transmitting signals through chemical exchange and environmental alignment. Mushrooms rise briefly to reflect those messages, then return their energy to the system below. As this cycle repeats, balance is maintained without instruction or oversight. As this understanding settles, the mind can relax into the idea that meaning does not need to be extracted forcefully. It emerges when conditions align. Mushrooms speak quietly through presence and absence, guiding attention gently toward patience, responsiveness, and trust in processes that unfold without urgency as this calm journey continues toward its close. Mushrooms are defined as much by their disappearance as by their arrival. They emerge quietly, exist briefly, and then return their energy to the environment without resistance. This impermanence is not a flaw in their design. It is a central part of how mushrooms function within larger fungi systems beneath the surface. Unlike organisms that persist visibly year-round, mushrooms appear only when conditions are aligned for reproduction. Moisture, temperature, and nutrient balance reach a threshold and a mushroom forms. When those conditions shift, the mushroom fades naturally. There is no attempt to remain beyond usefulness. The visible structure dissolves, while the fungi network below continues uninterrupted. This cycle allows energy to be conserved rather than wasted. Mushrooms do not demand permanence. They serve a specific role, then release resources back into the system. This restraint prevents strain on the environment and allows balance to be maintained over time. What matters most is not how long the mushroom lasts, but how efficiently it completes its purpose. From an ecological perspective, this impermanence supports resilience. Landscapes shaped by mushrooms and fungi systems do not rely on fixed structures. They adapt continuously, allowing visible forms to change while underlying processes remain steady. Stability is preserved not by holding on, but by letting go at the appropriate moment. For the human mind, this pattern can feel quietly reassuring. Not everything meaningful needs to endure visibly to remain important. Some contributions are meant to be brief, appearing only when conditions allow. Mushrooms demonstrate that presence does not need to be permanent to be valuable. As attention rests on this idea, urgency begins to soften. There is no need to force continuation beyond usefulness. Change does not signal loss. It signals transition. Mushrooms rise and fall without conflict, trusting the systems that support them beneath the surface. Beneath the soil, fungi networks remain active, whether mushrooms are visible or not. Their work continues steadily, supporting future growth without attachment to any single expression. As this understanding settles, the mind can relax into the idea that balance does not depend on holding tightly. It depends on timing, responsiveness, and the quiet wisdom of letting cycles complete naturally. Mushrooms appear briefly, then fade, yet the systems that support them continue without interruption. Beneath the surface, fungi networks persist through seasons, disturbances, and long stretches of environmental change, carrying life forward quietly through chemistry rather than awareness. Mushrooms rise from this continuity as temporary expressions of processes that never truly stop, offering a visible moment within a much longer and steadier rhythm. A landscape may seem still or inactive on the surface. Leaves fall, temperatures cool, growth slows, and visible life retreats. Mushrooms may vanish entirely for long periods of time, leaving the ground appearing empty or dormant. Yet beneath the soil, fungi systems remain connected. Nutrient pathways stay intact. Chemical exchanges continue at a reduced but steady pace. Preparation does not pause simply because it cannot be seen. This continuity allows environments to remain stable, even as surface conditions shift. Mushrooms do not mark the beginning or the end of activity. They mark alignment. When moisture, temperature, and nutrient balance reach a supportive threshold, mushrooms emerge naturally, without urgency or strain. When that balance shifts again, they dissolve just as quietly, returning their energy to the network below without resistance. Because mushrooms are tied to long-term systems, they do not rush to appear. Their timing reflects patience rather than demand. They wait rather than force. This relationship between waiting and emergence ensures that energy is used efficiently and that growth occurs only when the environment can truly sustain it. Nothing is prolonged beyond usefulness. Nothing is pushed past its purpose. From a biological perspective, this patience is essential. Systems that move too quickly often exhaust themselves. Systems that allow rest endure. Mushrooms embody this principle by appearing only when conditions are favorable, then releasing their role back into the fungi network once reproduction is complete. Rest is not separate from function. It is part of how function is preserved. This cycle of appearance and withdrawal creates a quiet rhythm within natural systems. Activity rises and falls without conflict. Periods of stillness are not empty. They are full of maintenance, recalibration, and preparation. Mushrooms remind us that visible quiet does not mean absence. It often means continuity is being carefully maintained beneath the surface. Continuity also allows environments to recover gently rather than abruptly. After disruption, fungi networks continue stabilizing soil, redistributing nutrients, and supporting future growth long before mushrooms return. When mushrooms do appear again, they do so from a system that has already been quietly restored. Recovery is not sudden, it is cumulative. For the human mind, this rhythm can feel deeply reassuring. Progress does not need to be constant to be real. Presence does not need to be visible to matter. Some of the most important work happens beneath awareness, unfolding slowly without observation or effort. Mushrooms teach that it is safe to pause, and that stepping back does not mean falling behind. As attention settles into this understanding, the need to track outcomes begins to soften. There is nothing to manage and nothing to accelerate. Life continues at the pace required for stability, not speed. Beneath awareness, systems remain active, adjusting gently and preparing for future moments of emergence. Beneath the surface, fungi networks carry life forward patiently, shaping environments long before mushrooms appear again. Continuity is maintained through presence rather than force. Balance is preserved through restraint rather than control. Nothing essential is lost during rest. As this final understanding settles, nothing more is required of your attention. The science has done its work quietly. The systems continue beneath the surface, steady and reliable. Like the mushrooms that rise only when the time is right, you can allow yourself to rest now, supported by processes that do not rush, do not demand, and do not disappear. Good night.